12 months and 1 week. That's what's left in this journey to retiring my parents before the end of 2026. Today is about the last week in December. We're heading into Christmas. By the time this actually comes out and y'all are watching this, Christmas will have already passed. So, for those that did not watch the previous video, Merry Christmas. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday. Message today in week 9 of recording this series on retiring my parents before the end of 2026 from our family business is believe it is possible. Be the person who can believe that it is possible to achieve great things. When we sit down, or when I sit down and I take a look at this plan for this next year, when I look at what we're trying to accomplish and all of these crazy things, oftentimes I feel that it is going to be really difficult. And I don't know if it's always possible. Ideally, we can get there and we're going to get as close as we can. But sometimes taking that step back and just recognizing that I have to believe that it is possible. So if you're out there and you're chasing a big goal and you're looking at things going, I don't know. Some days I'm all in and I think, yep, we're absolutely going to accomplish it. And other days it's like, I don't know. This is never going to hit. Know that that feeling is normal. These things happen, right? It's a part of being human. There are going to be good days. There's going to be bad days. But zoom out and take a look at the things you've accomplished so far. And almost always, you've accomplished more than you realize. At least I know that that's been true for me. I look back at this past year, I look back at the past couple years, and as we build our business and kind of look at the foundation and marketing and sales and systems and team and moving up this ladder that we even teach here in the Action Coach firm, it's crazy to look back and go, we spent so much time building this foundation and it was hard to see any movement. And then all of a sudden the foundation is built and we start seeing progress go exponentially faster. And that's where we're living today, is we're moving into this realm that these things are possible. So long story short, what I'm trying to get at is be the person that can believe that it is possible. Even on days when it's hard to believe it, just recognize and know that you're on the right path. Things will click in and will fall into place. So this last week, I built a spreadsheet. For those of you that have gotten to know me, yeah, it's fun. I love spreadsheets and all of that kind of stuff. But the point of this is I built a spreadsheet that allowed me to focus on what is this plan for next year? How do all of these things come together? Not just what do we want to accomplish at the end, but how to reverse engineer that through each month, to each week, to each marketing channel, to the team members that we need. It gives us this ability to say, here's exactly what needs to happen each quarter and each month for us to be on pace for this goal. And I know the last couple videos I've done has been heavily on this planning for 2026, but I can't stress this enough on how important it is to set the framework up before you get into the next year. And that's, if we want to accomplish this goal in the next just over 12 months, then there has to be a plan in place that we can go execute upon. So map the process. This is really what this week was. Sitting down, looking at what do the financial numbers need to look like? What kind of sales do we need to hit? At what point are we hiring additional team members? If I want to get my parents out of the business completely, if I want to build something that's going to work without us, that's going to require a team. It's going to require other people coming aboard and being a part of this mission that we're looking to accomplish. So we have to map the process. When can we realistically bring some of these new hires on? If it's, Q2 as an example, what needs to happen in Q1 in order for it to be possible? When do I start looking for the talent and the people? When do we put the job ads out there? How do we do these types of things? We got to map this process first and then reverse back into what are the actions that are going to allow us to achieve those goals. So I say we're going to hit, 10 new sales in January. That's fantastic. But what has to happen before that? How many sales meetings do we actually have to sit in order to get to that point? Not only how many sales meetings do we have to sit? How many do we have to book? How many people do we need to talk to? What are all these things that need to happen so that as the team comes aboard and is a part of this process of growing the business, they know what they can go control today. They may not be able to control a new sale today, but they can control how many people they go have a conversation with, how many follow-ups they do. There's different things that they can control that leads to the end result. So map the process and then reverse engineer, go back to what are the exact actions that can be taken. And then probably most importantly with this is know who is responsible for the follow through. I can't count the number of times I've talked to other business owners, other folks out there that are building a plan, whether for them personally, for their career, for their business, whatever it is. And they've got these amazing plans. They build this forecast and this budget and they build all these things that they're going to go do. But there's no teeth to it. There's no numbers that holds them accountable. There's no, hey, we're going to meet every week. We're going to meet once a month. We're going to meet at least once a quarter, ideally more than that, to say, where are we at against plan? And if we're not on plan, what are the exact things we collectively can do together to help us get there? That knowing who's responsible for bringing that information up and saying, hey, this is what I said I was going to do to be on this track for us, this collective goal that we're striving towards. Here's where I am today, and here's the support that I need to make this possible. Here's the things I need to help look at to change the trajectory that we're currently on. Or hey, maybe it's this department over here and they're really killing it and they're hitting the goal and they're beyond what they had said that they were going to achieve. What can we replicate? What are they doing that this other department may not be? How do we work together to ensure that these things continue to work in tandem? So know who's responsible for the follow through. So this has been my week. It has really been the end of the year where we go through this process of reflecting on the previous year and then looking at what are the actual tangible things that we're going to do in this next year. And in this journey of retiring my parents from our business by the end of 2026, one big thing that continues to come up is expansion of our team. And I'm really excited to kind of take a look down and recognize the types of roles that we're going to be filling in 2026. So if you're watching this and you know other folks out there that would want to come be a part of this thing that we are building, that you feel would be a really good fit, please send them over. Would love to have a conversation, especially as we bring these on over the year. Couple of things that we know for sure we'll be bringing on this next year is going to be a full-time strategic partner relationship manager. Someone to really build out the connections with additional strategic partners within our community. The second is going to be a full-time business coach. It won't just be myself and my dad, especially with getting my parents out of the business. My dad can't be the one that's coaching all the time. So we will be bringing on a business coach or two over the course of the year. Those are the two kind of big new roles that we're looking at today. And then as we get into probably the second half of the year, there will be some opportunities for some additional, we'll call them support roles or growth within the current roles that we have. So think additional sales team members in order to kind of grow the sales team. Think people within very specific marketing channels to grow that particular part of it. Some of the admin side that's going to be specialized within the coaching and or marketing and or sales. These types of support or additional growth areas are going to be likely the second half of 2026. So I'm super excited because at this moment in time, between our part-time team members and our full-time team members, we're up to 9 total people on the team. I expect this to be somewhere between that 13 to 15 range by the end of 2026. And it'll just be super exciting to see this continued growth and allow my parents and ideally myself to a degree start to step out of the day-to-day operations and allow others to continue to really grow beyond what even we're capable of. So this is it. Believe in what's possible. Be the person that is the one who believes that it is possible. Go after it. Reflect on the things that have happened because more than likely you'll recognize, like I did, that there is so much more than you've accomplished that we don't always acknowledge. And sometimes it's things that we hadn't set out to accomplish, but accomplished along the way as a byproduct. Map your process, determine what the action items are, and know who's going to be responsible for the follow through. Then go get excited and build out the team that's going to help you build the business. So that is what I'm doing. Coming to the end of the year, excited to be sharing more of this progress as we get into January. With that, I'll end today's episode on that. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the new year. Stay safe, have fun, and as always, let's build some amazing businesses together.